Okay, we are live. What is up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well today. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Referral Partner Acquisition Show, powered by StreamYard over here. If you're new to the show, my name is Will Anagnos. Nice to meet you. As always, I'm here with my co-host, David Youngs. Panos is missing today, but he'll be with us next week. If you're new to the show, we're here every Friday, except for the last Friday of each month. But we're here, other than that, every Friday at noon Eastern. That's noon Eastern. And we talk about how you can acquire referral partners, how you can provide them value, and how you can retain them long term. It's something that we're the best at. So if you find this valuable today, our topic that I'll go over in a second, please let us know by slapping that like button, giving us that heart button so we know that we feel the love here. And if you have any questions about what we're talking about, please drop it down in the comments while we're here live and we'll answer it live. Or if you want to ask it afterwards, you can watch us in the replay and we'll answer it afterwards. Today, we're going to be talking about what questions you should be asking your real estate agents that you're meeting and you're prospecting, that you're hopping on one-on-one phone calls with, Zoom calls, or maybe it's even a coffee like the good old days. And David brought up some really good, I think it was 5 or 6 awesome questions to he was coaching one of our clients recently. Got some good feedback. I want to talk about that today. So David, tell us all about those 5 or 6 kind of key questions you thought were helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Bear with me for my seasonal allergies. They're killing me a little bit here, so I'm gonna try to see if you can see my eyes.
You're good. I had a cold. Now I'm handing it off to you, or I guess the seasonal.
These don't go away, unfortunately, but it is just what it is. So, So thanks for having me on for this part. I've been excited and wanting to go through this for a while. So I think for most LOs, I think the challenge that you have is, first of all, what do you say to get the meeting, which W Marketing is already doing. That's the outreach that we're doing. We've already got that. We've already got all that scripting checked. Like, we got it. Now you got the meeting. But now what do you say in the meeting? Especially if you're a brand new LO or you're relatively new to prospecting realtors, financial advisors, whoever it might be, and you're just not sure what to say. A lot of the number one mistake most LOs, I think, make from experience and talking with others and hearing what they say and then getting feedback from realtors, because I like asking them, hey, when other LOs call you, what do they say? And a lot of times they give me the same feedback. They tell me the same things that everybody else tells me, and they verbally throw up on the realtor. They just tell them everything about everything right there on that call. And the realtor immediately is turned off because it turns into this pushy sales pitch kind of a thing. And that's not what you really are going for anyway. What you're going for in a perfect world is a partnership, a true partnership together, where you guys are working hand in hand, helping families together. So if you're looking desperate and you're coming in like, realtor, send me all your business now, please, please, please. I get all these cool, shiny things. What do you think? It's not going to go as well. So you want to be careful about making it about you. If there's any one takeaway from this whole thing, it's, as much as you possibly can, listen to them and make it about them. What's that phrase? Everyone's favorite topic is themselves, right? So
it's a curse.
Right. So make the topic their favorite topic. Everybody loves talking about themselves. Ask me about my Huskies and I'm going to start talking all about my Huskies because I love my Huskies. But if you start telling me all about, I don't know, the March Madness thing going on, I can't even tell you who's playing and what teams or anything. So, you got to speak to the language of their heart. So here's some questions that I would encourage writing down and using in your next call, and just see how they go, see how things work for you. And for the record, this should be on a phone call. This isn't like you talk to the realtor in this outreach that we're doing, and then like, let's go grab lunch or let's go grab coffee. It's like you're asking them to marry you before you've even dated yet. So first thing you should do, get on a phone call, just a quick 15, 20-minute phone call. You're done. That's all you should do. So that's where this applies. Call number 1. So starting off, you want to ask them, it's not even a question exactly. Just say, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Well, tell me about yourself.
You'd be surprised. Yeah. Depending on how I'm feeling though, you'd be surprised. I'll tell you about myself. And then, I'm not going to do that right now, but
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I'm on the spot. Absolutely. Because people want to talk to you about them.
Yep.
And not and if you, it's going to happen where someone's not going to open up. It's going to happen. Expect it. And if someone doesn't open up, tell them, hey, it looks like you're not opening up. I, you know, what do you want to talk about today? Put it back on them. Oh,
Yeah,
that's what I
normally
would
the
do.
response you're going to get is they're going to say, "Well, I've been in real estate for X amount of years, and I work with this
Yeah.
company, and I've been here, and I've been there," and then push a little more. Well, that's really cool. Actually, I saw that already in your profile on LinkedIn. But I mean, tell me about yourself, and then repeat it. And then they'll go into, well, married or divorced, couple kids, we got a couple dogs, we got a cat, we like vacations. I like
Mhm.
to knit. I don't know, whatever thing that they like doing. Eventually, it'll come out. Like keep pushing them to get them to talk. Another objection, the only objection you may get sometimes that I've run into is, well, David, you're the one that reached out to me, so why don't you tell me about yourself? And then you get into
Yeah. What
this,
do you do
no,
when they? Well,
yeah, then you get into like, no, Will, you tell me about yourself. No, David, I want you to tell me about yourself. And then you get this back and forth thing. So if they don't want to open up and they want you to talk first, tell them the same thing you're looking for them to tell you. So you want to come back and say, well, I've been married. People probably won't believe this, but I'm coming up on my 19-year anniversary for being married. We've got two huskies. We live in Oakdale, Minnesota. I'll go through like what I want to hear from them. Like, okay, now, so yeah, tell me about you. Where do you live? And then put it back on them. So that's point one. This is probably the most important one of all. Is you got to get them talking about themselves right from the beginning, so that they immediately start to like you and they can
I
find some
feel I
common
I feel like this is easily overlooked. It's so like, of course you need to do that. If But it's also important to. That's why I'm interrupting you right now. I think it's also important to nail that every time, because if that is overlooked or skipped, then it's a bumpy road from here. So, and that's easily overlooked because I could say, of course, I'll do that, but then maybe I won't do it or do it well,
right.
because it really smoothens out the rest of what's going to happen, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't skip this one. It's super important. Tell me about yourself and let them go as long as they want. If you end up taking the entire call and you don't ask a single other question that I got listed here, and you've just had a nice conversation and you didn't talk about a single thing mortgage or real estate related, that's a win. That's a
Yeah, for
really good
sure.
thing. That means that you're almost certainly going to get meeting number two now. So don't,
How
yeah.
If I'm speaking with a realtor, how can I find out what in the world I can help them with? Because everyone needs help, especially everybody who hops on a phone call with you. They could be doing anything with their time. They could be watching Netflix. They could be hanging out with their kids. They could be working with their clients. They could be sleeping, but they're on a call with you. Something they would like out of it. But how sometimes it's hard to get people to even say the things they want to say. They just like it's hard for people just to spit it out. How What's a good way to ask a realtor? How in the world can I help you so that they actually give me something to work with? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so this is something that's not going to really usually come up till later. And some of these other questions probably would handle it. But what you could share towards the beginning as a supplemental question is, do you mind if I ask, why did you take my call? I mean, you get calls, I'm sure, all the time from other LOs out there. Why did you take my call? And then just see what they say. Well, I looked up your profile and I noticed this, or I've been struggling with this thing in my business, or I actually had two of my LOs that I worked with for years. They just left the industry, or whatever. It could be any number of things. Find out why they took the call, because if they don't want to, they're not gonna. I mean, there's a reason why they decided to talk to you, and they may be brand new, know nothing, never closed a loan or a deal. They could be elite and be closing 50, 100 a year. Different people will take the call for different reasons. So ask them, why did you take my call? That's how I would handle that. Um, my next question that I had that I got listed here is, who ask them, who are you currently using for mortgage professionals as a partner? Who are you
That
working with?
question, I feel like, is that question forgotten to be asked? Do you feel?
I think almost all these questions here are forgotten. I think
Oh, that's
in most
unfortunate.
cases, again, the LO is typically coming into this thinking, I got to have this amazing sales pitch, this incredible presentation, and I got to have a PowerPoint maybe and some video stuff, and I need to like be an expert in AI, the new stuff that's all the AI that's coming out in the technology, or I need to really know these programs like the back of my hand so I can go through and walk them through how non-QM lending works and all this stuff. But that's not the purpose of this call. Those are down the road. Those shouldn't
Mhm.
even really come up. So, who are you currently using? And sometimes they will be defensive. They will not give you a clear answer. So, if they start being like,
Why is that?
because they don't want to let you know who they're in with already. They want to keep that close to the chest. They don't want to let others know who they're working with because
Is that
then
why was that? Why would that be a secret? You think?
I think they think maybe it gives the person too much insight into their business and they haven't even decided if they trust you yet.
Okay.
It's weird. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. One thing, if in case, and I help
Can't
them
you just can't you
understand
just look can't you just look that up on okay,
exactly.
so if someone is it inappropriate if someone is like not telling you that? Is it inappropriate to say, "Hey, like I mean I just want to learn about your business and I think if you gave me this information it'd be helpful." I mean, just to let you know like it's on the internet. Like I could look it up. I'm not going to do that because obviously you don't want me to. But I want you to let you know that the more you give, more information you give me, the more I'm able to use
Mhm.
that information to help you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm spending my time with you. Otherwise, I'd be watching Netflix. I
Yeah.
kind of make it funny. I don't
My
know.
my answer back to them is just simply, if you don't want to share names, that's okay. Can you at least tell me the companies that they work with? And then usually they'll give you the company names, and then
You're
they'll even drop the
easing
person's
in.
name. Yeah, just
Yeah.
give me the company names because honestly, that's all I care about anyway. I want to know which companies do you work with because I know what I've been in the industry long enough that I know what each company does. So I
Mhm.
know as soon as they tell me I work with Guaranteed Rate or Fairway or one of these big players, I already know what they have and what they don't have. So right away, I'm thinking wheels are turning. I know they don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that. So companies is most important anyway. But if they still push back, then I'll say, Will, I just want to make sure like, I can just go look it up myself too, right? Like I've got the software. I can just go see it. I was just curious.
Maybe
I
they
didn't
don't
think
know that it's that
yeah.
easy. Yeah. And then maybe
Just
if they know if they realize it's out there already, they're like, oh, I mean, then I
and then
really
they'll share
shouldn't
it.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they'll stop worrying about it in
Mhm.
general.
So then
Interesting.
the next question, it might sound counterintuitive, but you want to ask them, what do you really like about them? Why do you like working with them? What's working in your business? Why do you like those professionals? And they're going to give you the same basic answers that most LOs come to them and give them proposals with. We close on time, we answer our phones, we've got great
Mhm.
experience, great rates, and great programs. And I say, well, that's great. That's amazing. But a lot of times, the realtor is going to come back and start talking about what they like. And it's funny that they do this. And they're going to say, you know, at the same time, though, they can't really do this kind of a program. They're not very good at that. And I did have that one deal last month blow up because of this. And it is funny. It seems like anytime there's a problem, I can't get a hold of my guy. Like he's really good at communication normally, but whenever there's a problem, I can't reach him. And they'll start going into the next question, which is what frustrates you when working on a transaction, or what don't you like about your current partnerships? One of those
revealing
two.
those revealing those pain points are huge, and I feel like that's forgotten
Yeah.
because if you
Another
can
one that I have
identify where a loan officer is screwed up and somehow
exactly.
figure out how to prove that you have a system that mitigates that or erases it from ever happening in the
Mhm.
future.
Yeah. Another side question you could ask with that one is, and I might say these in conjunction with one another, is like, what frustrates you the most with your current partners? Like if you could wave a magic wand and fix any and all things about your partnerships right now, what would that be? What would you want to see in a mortgage professional?
What are some answers you've heard, or I guess one that you can remember? that someone has
The ones that I most commonly hear are the ones where they start talking about uh, problems they've had in transactions, or what they may have heard about that exists out there, or that somebody else on their team maybe has talked about that they're trying or doing, or maybe they watched a webinar training and they learned about this new thing that's out there and they don't know anything about it yet. Like, I don't think they really have anything for first time home buyers, my current lender. I think they're okay with them, but I don't know how much they do with the state housing programs, or all that stuff. And they'll start going down a path. Like, they'll pick the path in most cases. Now, sometimes they will say, "No, I'm good. Everything's great. I can't really think of a single bad thing." That's okay if they don't say anything. Um, Maybe ask them, pry a little more, just ask them, so you guys are well in the sense of, speed's a non-issue, communication's a non-issue. Do they have every program that you need out there to solve this? What do those consultations look like with clients? How do you do the handoff when they do that? How do they communicate with you on that? Are they walking the client through things, or are they just kind of taking an application and throwing it in? How do they handle the negotiations in the offer? Do they call the listing agent on every single deal to sell them on the strength of the financing? Well, no, they don't really do that. I mean, the pre-approvals I know I can trust are usually good, but no, they don't do that. And oh, do they do like automated communications all the way through the process? So like beginning to end and even post-closing everything that's happening, and then co-brand you for years to come on content? No, I don't think we have that. And okay, so you're picking it apart and just
right. So you're getting these constant. You're basically asking them, "Do you have this?" And you're getting this. Their answers, it's going to be a no, and then the back end, you want them to have the idea of, am I missing out on something? So I guess maybe justify the question with, okay, no, 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 and would you want that? Like, kind of would that make sense to find out? Is this something that I can even help you with, or is this something that you even want? Excuse me, not help you with.
So this
Get them feeling that FOMO.
Yeah, this is actually where I would come back around and where I would place the question,
Perfect.
why did you take my call?
Yeah.
You're in such
What are you hoping for? Yeah.
Yeah, you're in great shape. You've got great partners. Everything's perfect. You wouldn't change a single thing you're telling me. Okay. Just out of curiosity, why'd you take my call? Because I
Because
believe
I'm open to hearing new things. What would you like to hear? Ideally, in a perfect world, you take my call and I say exactly the ideal thing that you want. What would that be?
I
These difficult scenarios, they don't happen a lot, but when they do happen, it's so nice to know what to say, because you get
yeah.
off the phone feeling like, even though it didn't work out, it may work out, first of all, in the future because you handled things properly, and
Mhm.
two, it just feels so much better. Like, it
Right.
didn't work out, but at least I said the right thing. It's so much better than getting off a phone and thinking, oh, I said the wrong thing, and it wouldn't have worked out. Like, it just, or maybe it could have. Like, you have those thoughts, but saying the right thing and knowing confidently that was not a fit, or confidently it's not a fit today. That's a nice feeling. Being
Right.
able to
And
have the right
that's
vocabulary.
okay. Yeah, you
That's
want
okay.
you
Yeah.
want that closure. If it's not the right fit right now, great. Now you can mark that person off, not right now, but you can still stay in front of them with the touches, and you'd be amazed with the technology, the systems, the automation that WA marketing has. All of a sudden, 5 months later, one of your emails
Mm.
triggered and sparked a realtor to reach out, and they're like, "Is this true? Can you actually do that? Or is that really how that works?" I mean, I just talked to one of my top partners who I've been working with for almost a decade. We were talking about this NAR settlement that's going on, and I'm sure we'll have
Mhm.
more information on that soon. But he was asking me questions, and I told him, I'm like, well, because he said you're limited on contributions for that. And I said, well, in conventional financing, remember, if you're doing 10% down, you can do up to 6% contributions. And if you're doing 25% down, you can have up to 9% contributions. He's like, are you serious? How have I been doing real estate this long and I've never heard this? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going to take full responsibility. That's my fault that you didn't know that, because this is the stuff that we should be talking about as partners. So
Yeah. That's why it's important to have some sort of marketing system where you constantly are sending out information and updating people on the things that they should
Yeah.
know. Will help
Yep.
them. People learn with information. It's like a fishing rod information. If a realtor ever asks for leads, that's like giving them a fish. They eat for a day. Information, they eat for life. I want to stress
Yeah.
that.
And
So
by the
have
way,
your
if they
stuff
ask you for
like
leads on
David
call
do.
one, if that's their thing, if that's their answer, what frustrates you?
Yeah.
My mortgage person isn't sending me leads.
I see that too often, and I'm not even on the phone with these realtors, and I see it often.
Yeah,
That is immediately your job is to shift their mindset. If they want leads, they want the wrong thing. They want to eat.
exactly.
They want to eat for a day, and then tomorrow, what? They're going to want to eat again, right? So they're going to complain again that they don't have someone fishing for them. They can fish for themselves, and you can be the one who teaches them. So
Exactly. If
Get on
they ask,
getting on the phone with them and get asking the right questions. It all starts with that, though, so they earn your trust, and they give you that opportunity to help them.
yeah,
So
know that if they ask you for leads specifically, that's the first thing out of their mouth. And then especially if they say it 2 or 3, 4 times in that call, you're talking to the wrong realtor. Try shifting their mindset,
try,
and that
yeah,
that would be another call maybe.
because they may be asking you for leads because that's what they were. They think that's okay. They think that's what you're supposed to do. They think it's
Mhm.
normal. It's really normalized, which is unfortunate. Which is our job to denormalize it. It's not normal to want to, eat for a day, even though in reality you want to eat for the rest of your life. And even in retirement, like you need to have a better plan than just asking for referrals.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
and
we gotta teach them
yeah,
what actually generates business.
hmm
And me sending you some random lead is not how you generate business.
no,
And
it's how
that
you
means
generate one thing, and maybe it won't work out. Probably not.
right. And it's
Yeah.
taking away from if I'm out there chasing down real estate leads for you, realtor, if that's all
hmm
I'm doing to try to send you leads, how am I going to help you convert and look good and win the offers and have all this
hmm
stuff,
Yeah.
run these programs, have the consultations with the clients, work the post closing stuff, work those past those closed clients with you. So we got to shift the mindset on where the value really is.
Mhm.
But one of the
Absolutely.
questions, one of the kind of a 3B question here that I have written down, or whatever
This is
number
the
we're on.
last question that we're gonna have, and then we have to hard stop when the episode's over. So
How
really
about I
quick, that
just go
last
real
question.
fast?
Yeah, go for
We'll
it.
just go fast. You could ask them as well, what do you want in a mortgage partner if they're pushing back a little bit on that?
Mhm.
So, what do you want in a partner? Like, if you could define the perfect partner, what would that look like? And then get them to talk about it that way. So there's like 3 or 4 questions around this question that I just gave. It's not, I didn't give just one. So make sure that you're just prying a little bit to get them to talk. The next question, this is where you get permission. What do you know about me and my company? And usually they're going to say nothing. I've never heard of you, David. I've never talked with you before, I don't think. And I'm not sure if I've worked with your company before. And even if they have, it doesn't matter because they really don't know what you do. Even if they work with one of your colleagues in one of your offices and have done that before, it still doesn't mean they know what you do. Your colleague probably didn't walk them through all the things that you're going to be trained on with the WA marketing team to go through and train them on. So, what do you know about me and my company? And then the next question is, can I have permission to share just a little bit about what I do that's different? And then if they say yes, which they're going to, I've never had a realtor yet say no. Sure, go ahead. Now there's your entrance to call it your sales pitch for like 2 minutes. Like, I mean, super short, a quick synopsis. Tell them about what you do and how you think you could help by looking at what they just shared on all these other
Mhm.
questions. And then this is a very important point. At the end of this conversation, after you've done that, you want to ask them based on what I just shared, does that spark your interest at all? Or what do you like about that? Or is there anything in particular that I mentioned that you think could really help you in your business? See, get them to give you some feedback quick. Hopefully it's not like, well, that's horrible and I don't need any of that. And that's, very rarely will that happen. They're going to say like, "Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's cool." By now they like you. They trust. They've built some trust. Here's the most important thing. Based on our conversation, I definitely think there's some ways that you and I may be able to support one another in business. So, what I'd love to do is schedule a Zoom call. So, key point, we're scheduling call 2 on call 1. Call 2 is scheduled on call 1, not after. On call 1, schedule 2.
Yep.
So,
No, let me know. No, talk to you in 5 minutes before you get
yes,
off. Yeah.
yes. So, I'd love to schedule a Zoom call. That's my recommendation.
And there's
Don't go
no
any further than that.
reason why it needs to be like pushy. Like if you feel like you're being pushy, asking for a second call, there's something has gone wrong because it shouldn't feel that way at
Yeah,
all. It should be very natural. Like, hey,
right.
see you tomorrow, or see you next week. What time? 5 o'clock. Awesome, it's done. Like it's
Yeah.
done. Like it's be that
But
smooth.
but lead them. Don't even give it open-ended. So can I schedule a
Yeah,
Zoom is my
absolutely.
always my recommendation, and then I can share a little bit more about how I think we can help some more families together. Does this day or this day next week work better? Morning or afternoon? Afternoon, okay, great.
Yep.
1 or 3, give them the times and say, "Great, I'll send a calendar invitation over right after our call." And then do it. Send the calendar invite. Now you're scheduled. In the notes, put in what you talked about. We met this day. We had a good call. We talked about this. Loves cats, whatever. Put the notes in there so they see you actually cared enough to take those notes. And now you've got a refresher of when you go to get on that call, what you talked about and what you're going to talk about next. Really seem to have some interest in that non QM product I mentioned, or learning more about VA financing or whatever it was. Put that in the notes so they know and you know. And that's the whole thing. Tell me about yourself. Just a quick recap. Tell me about yourself. Who do you like working with now and what do you like about them? What don't you like about your current partnerships? What do you know about me and my company? Can I have permission to share a little bit about me and what I do? And then based on our conversation, I'd love to schedule a Zoom. What works better? And then schedule the Zoom. So those are essentially the 6 questions altogether with a few miscellaneous that we talked
Yeah.
about through the call here.
Guys, the gist of that is in the comments below if you want to take notes. David is a killer at this. He's really good at his realtor meetings. So if you're watching this, definitely take notes. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. If you're struggling to get referral partners, comment workshop down in the comments below, and I'll invite you to our workshop coming up next Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week in the group.
See you,
Thanks,
everybody.
David.